All right. As always, you guys know I bring you the best of the best, the best of the best. These are the top people. And how cool is it for me? I get these people that I look up to, these living legends that I get to interview, that get to become friends of mine, that I get to mastermind and collaborate with. And Marc is one of those people that I believe, as far as people that are focused on network marketing, because of course you got, the other people that have had huge crowds of, over and over and over again, the Tony Robbins of the world. But as far as those focused, solely fixated on the network marketing industry, I believe that you've spoken to more people live than anyone else in all of network marketing. And I know let's just take off, because Jim Rohn said it best, putting yourself down isn't humble. Would you agree with that?
We've talked to a lot of people. I mean, it's been 10 years in a row that we've done in probably 5 continents, an average of maybe 4,000 or 5,000 per person or per area for 10 years straight. So yeah, I mean, it's been a ridiculous blessing to have that many people to talk to.
And you still get the rush when you go up in front of a huge crowd?
Of course. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Honestly, Rob, these last 6 months, they've been nice because my body is like, thank you for not crossing the time, international timeline 42 times a year. I fly about 300,000 real miles a year. So it's been good, but I am going stir crazy because I want to be in front of a group. I just want to, that's my thing. I mean, I'm grateful to do this. Just put a whole online program together, but I love the live crowds. I'll never not love that best.
Well, I'm excited. You guys stay tuned. We're going to tell you guys a little bit more about it, but I want you to tell them real quickly, where can they find your online program? And that'll be the teaser, and later we'll talk more in depth about it.
Yeah, it's Marc Accetta Seminars.com. And if my name's a little weird to spell, so you can just go to worldsuccesscoach.com and it will direct you there.
World Success Coach. Yeah. Love it. That's easy. So a couple quick rapid fire questions and we'll get started is, how many countries have you spoken in? If you were to, maybe you know the exact amount or you guess.
How many countries did you say?
Different countries have you spoken in?
I'm going to guess about 35, something like that.
Largest crowd you've ever spoken to?
27,000.
Wow.
That was a Cowboy Stadium. That was fun.
That's a real rock star right there. And I've been able to see so much of your online content, and you just have insane energy like a performer. I love it, but you're performing and training at the same time.
Sir,
makes it stand out. Your favorite sport?
Wow. I played baseball. Seriously, I thought I was going to be a baseball player. But when I stopped playing seriously at 21, I barely watch it anymore. It's too painful because this is kind of good for the audience. My mindset was so weak back then. I had no personal development. My biggest regret is not having done all the personal development while I was playing baseball. Wow, that would have been different. But the truth is now my favorite sport is football. Love football. My daughter went to Alabama. I am a diehard Tide fan, so I'm a big football.
The guy I work out with every single day, he's a diehard as well. And
nice.
It's just there's no competition because my team is BYU, and it's like we just hope to finish in the top 40, whereas you guys are competing for national championships, so it's like majors and minors. So there's no, it's just chat. So as we go, so you were the top earner. 21 years?
Well, I was the top earner in my last company for 6 or 7 years, but I was always top 10. So,
top 10. I like that. Thanks for clarifying.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10. That's okay, right? Top 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were the top earner for the last 6 or 7 years. So you built in the field for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've trained now for over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have just a little bit of perspective, just a little bit of experience of what I love is, though, the fact that you have your own personal experience as well as working with so many different top earners and leaders and helping them to have breakthroughs and all of the good stuff. And so I'm excited. Let's just dive in today's topic. And I mean, you gave me a whole list of topics, so we can go through so many more. But the first thing I want to talk about is you talked about dealing with rejections. You talked about dealing with objections and how we do that, because I believe, and I know we communicate things, all of us, sometimes similar, sometimes different things, saying the same thing. But I believe the mother of all fears is the fear of judgment. Remove the fear of judgment. We don't have the fear of success, fear of failure, fear of missing out, fear of inadequacy. And so this is so important. Mindset, Lead, Skills, and Systems for breakfast. When we're talking about dealing with rejections and objections and having that confidence, that's both mindset and skills. It hits both. So they want to hear from you, not me. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Every so often, I reiterate some of your points and ask more questions, but I just want to hear from you. So does everyone else.
Well, first of all, you asked me when we were getting ready for this, when I'm writing a book, and my book is going to be about rejection, how to overcome it, and all of that, because, it's so applicable, like you said, in our industry. It's probably the number one thing people need to get over, but it's really everyone. Like, if you're a personal development fan, which I know you are, I mean, it is the main thing, getting over what other people think of us. And it's so funny because we don't even know most of these people. So why would we care what they think of us? But you know what they say? Who are they? Like, why do we care what they say? But we do. So, the thing I talk about is not only overcoming rejection, but how it can actually make you stronger, because that's the key. And we've all heard the expression, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I agree. But man, when you're in the middle of it, it doesn't feel that way at all, right? So there are certain people, I'm big on the 4 personality groups. That's a big part of my core training. And there's the one group that naturally will be great with rejection. My first sales appointment, my first sales job was graduating college, and I realized I wasn't going to play professional baseball. I literally took a job selling pots and pans door to door. That was before my network marketing. And I went after the training, I went to my girlfriend at the time's mom, and I started going through the pitch, and she just flat attacked me. She goes, "How much does this stuff cost? No one, you're not a woman. You don't know. You don't cook every night. No one's going to pay." She obliterated me. And when I told her the cost, which they told us definitely not to do until the end of the presentation, but she terrified me. So I gave her the cost, and she ripped my head off. "Take those samples back. Don't do this. You're an idiot. No one's going to buy this. I'm not going to let my daughter date you if she's dating someone who's never going to be able to make enough money to, So I'm like, oh my God. So I went out to my car, and I was on the verge of tears. And then because of my personality, I got more of a like, screw you. So I went to her. The next door neighbor was her best friend. I knocked on her door, sweetly asked Mrs. Masato if I could come in and show her something, and made my first sale. And it was that was my deal. There's a guy that I work with closely who's $1 million earner named Stavros Zinanos out of Cyprus. Same kind of thing. He went to his best friend, told him about network marketing. His friend was like, "Oh, okay, I'll think about it." Then 2 days later, it was a big birthday party where this guy and all of their best friends, so everyone Stavros was going to go to, and his friend annihilated him. "Oh, Stavros is in a scam. He's going to try to get you guys to all do this. It's a cult. It's a pyramid." So again, a lot of people, Rob, would have been done. Stavros got angry and decided to shove it up that guy's posterior. And that's one of the reasons why he became so successful. So for some people, your natural screw this, but that's not most people. Most people are going to crumble when they get criticized, especially by someone that close. So what I'd love to do is maybe share a few ways for the average person to deal with that kind of criticism, because it hurts. It really does hurt. When your best friend makes fun of you, it hurts. I don't care if you're in grade school, high school, college, whatever, 80 years old, when your best friend makes fun of you, it's not cool. So the first thing I came up with is this. Now, I don't know about you. You're a good looking guy. When you were in high school, you probably were fine. But I was very shy. So I didn't have a date until my senior prom, which is kind of waiting to the last minute. So the way I would do it is I'd go up to someone like you, who is my friend, and go, hey, Rob, you know that girl, Diane, like I really like her. Like, would you go talk to Diane and tell her that I like her, right? So now if you go over and talk to Diane and you go, hey, Diane, my friend Mark kind of likes you. You know, would you ever want to go out with him? And if Diane goes, Mark? No chance. Forget about it. Now, let me ask you a question. How much personal rejection would you feel in that situation if you were the one asking Diane on my behalf? Would it really make you feel terrible if she didn't want to go out with me?
Not at all.
Right? No, not at all. Not even a little. Wouldn't even feel bad for me a little
I'd
bit.
probably laugh a little bit. I'd feel bad.
Exactly.
But then I'd kind of laugh. I'd go, that's for him.
Exactly. Ladies, that's what happens with guys. That would actually be material for him to shred me for the next decade if we were good friends. But here's my point. Okay. So you feel no rejection. So let's go to network marketing for a minute. You join a network marketing company. Did you create the product, Rob? Did you formulate the product? Did you found the company? Did you create the compensation plan? Hardly. So you're just going to someone and showing you someone else's idea, someone else's hard work. And when they say, I don't like this, why would you take that any more personally than the situation I just gave you? Why? Because people are not rejecting you in the dating situation. They're not rejecting you in the network marketing situation. They're rejecting the owner. Now, how many of you think, I mean, I know some owners pretty well. I know Tony Coop as well. He's a friend, the guy who owns ACN. Do you think Tony burst into tears when someone in Cleveland tonight says, I don't want to do ACN, I don't like it? I mean, Tony's like, first of all, he doesn't even know what's happening. Secondly, if he knew it was happening, he wouldn't be that upset because of the millions of customers they already have. So it's no big deal. Again, I wish I could just take my brain and put it into someone else's brain. It's just not a big deal if someone says no. So that's one of the ways I've tried to get people to not take the rejection personally and to just kind of put it where it's due. And the owner doesn't care. It's not the formulator of the product doesn't care.
Yeah. And I remember reading a study. I think her name was Bonnie Ware, Ware. And she was a nurse who was studying dying patients right on their deathbed. And one of their main things they said was they wish they wouldn't have cared so much what everybody else thought.
Right.
And it's like rich people think long-term, people think short-term. That's spiritually, financially, physically, mentally, and in all aspects of life. Mm-hmm. It's really tough for us to have that type of perspective. And that's why a lot of people fear success as well, because both, right, fear and they fear failure and success because they don't want to deal with the criticism. And you get it all the time. I get it all the time. I get comments, whether it's on YouTube or, you know, someone mentioning a podcast or someone, you know, sending me this message or I can't believe you said it this or said that way or on my book reviews, like go look up your favorite book of all time. Go look it up and go look at the worst reviews on there and we'll start laughing. What?
Exactly.
Is me?
Yeah, it's so true, though. I mean, that's one of the things I also tell people. I go, hey, you know, I grew up and, you know, I was born in 1960, the 70s, rock and roll. So I'm a rock and roll guy. So if I go to you and go, hey, or someone in my daughter's generation in their 20s right now and go, hey, you want to go to a Bruce Springsteen concert? I've got great seats. Like, I love Bruce Springsteen. I would die to sit in the front row. I'd pay a ridiculous amount of money. But there's a lot of people, they would go, Bruce who? or they'd be like, no, I don't think so. Now, on the other hand, how's Bruce? Does that mean the music industry is a scam? Does that mean that Bruce Springsteen is a scam? Does it mean that he should quit being a musician? It just means that this group of people doesn't like him. Whatever, you know what I mean? On the other hand, one of our video producer guy, really nice gentleman, super talented for our live events. He went on the tour with Jay-Z when Jay-Z was on tour with Beyonce. And he's like, man, I feel so bad about leaving you in the middle of the run. He goes, if you want to come to the show, front row, I got you. And I looked at my friend and went, like, I'm good. Like, so I don't want to go to a Jay-Z concert. I'm just not a hip hop guy. I hope that doesn't turn off anyone, but it's not my thing.
Why do you think? I mean, because I think some people would be okay with that if they did invite someone to a concert. They said no, but for whatever reason,
Right.
associated to network marketing,
Exactly.
why do you feel like they're so insecure? Why do they take it so personal?
I just, it is bizarre because if you and I are going to a movie tonight and I go, hey, I'm going to Tom Cruise with me, I don't like Tom Cruise. I don't take that personally, but people do. And again, if I could figure that out, I would do a seminar called The Secret. I'd charge $25,000 and say, here's the secret. Here's how you over. I don't know, Rob. I wish I could figure that one out. I promise you, if I figure it out, I'll let you know. We'll do another one of these, and we'll
try to crack that code together, because it's crazy how everyone takes it so personal. And I think some of the insecurities, because there are people that do it the wrong way, and there are people that treat it the wrong way as well. They get in, and even though they know it's a real business, they treat it like net lottery ticket marketing. They hope they can find one or two people that do the work. When it doesn't work, they blame the entire profession when they know better. They know nothing.
Well,
nothing is that easy.
Think about it. If you had a friend who went to Oxford University and they came back after a semester at Oxford and said, yeah, I went to Harvard or Oxford, man, what a scam. I dropped out. It's a ripoff. It's a cult. It's a pyramid. People would be like, would you honestly go, oh, Oxford is a scam? Or would you go, oh, all right, obviously they didn't do what it took to cut. But it's the way society, and it was like that before the internet, but now the internet, you can just go, spew your negativity on the internet. Think about all the people that see someone who literally treat it like a hobby. Quick story. I went to my first concert at Madison Square Garden, and I saw a guy named Ted Nugent with Eddie Money. A lot of people probably know who that is. Anyway, I came home and I was like, I want to play guitar. So we had no money. Like, my dad was a bartender. My mom was a crossing guard. We had no money. So I badgered my parents. They bought me an electric guitar. Started playing my electric guitar. I didn't have any instruction, of course. And after 2 or 3 days, number one, my fingers hurt. Number two, I really didn't sound like Ted Nugent. So guess what I did with that guitar, Rob? I put it in a corner, and I didn't touch it again for 10 years until I was in college, and a friend of mine was willing to teach me how to play, and I finally learned how to play. My point is, I got all excited because I saw someone who was great at it. How many hours did Ted Nugent practice playing guitar for 10 or 15 years of his life? I mean, great musicians still play 7 or 8 hours a day today now, or at least 3 or 4 hours. So I wanted to do it for 3 days and be Carlos Santana. It's ridiculous, but that's still the way people are in our business. It is crazy to have people think for some reason they're going to be great at this with virtually no effort.
Yeah, we live in the instant gratification world, and everybody wants what's easy and quick, and everybody wants the shortcut, and they don't realize if you actually just do the real work, that actually is the best shortcut. Because instead of taking 10 shortcuts and realizing none of them work, you could have just taken the so-called perceived long road,
exactly.
And that would have been way, way short. So how does one build confidence? Let's just say their confidence is way down, because that's what we're talking about is they just don't have the belief, whether it's in themselves, whether it's in the profession, whatever it is. If someone's starting right now and they're coming to you, Mark, I'm burnt out. I don't have the confidence. I'm not sure if I'm good enough. I'm not sure if this is going to work for me. What would you diagnose them? I know each situation is a little different though, but it's Dr. Mark here now. How would you diagnose them and what would you say?
Well, I would give them 3 or 4 stories of people who had no business being in business, so to speak, and became incredibly successful in the industry to prove to them that literally anyone is capable of making this work. You and I both know, I don't know about you, Rob, but if it came down to being a neurosurgeon, I don't think I've got the physical skill or the brain to be a neurosurgeon. But this is very different. It's literally, are you willing to do the work? So I'd convince them, first of all, if I could, that anyone can do it. Number 2, I tell them they've got to get a coach. They've got to get a mentor. They've got to get someone who knows what they're doing. I mean, I was in the business for 9 months and I almost quit 53 times because I didn't know what I was doing. Then I went to one seminar with my mentor and it was like, that was it. That was the day I knew I'd never quit, because someone had figured out exactly how to do it. So I'd say, number 1, you got to believe you can do it. Number 2, find a great coach. And number 3, just do the stinking numbers. It's a numbers game. And it's just like if you're trying to lose a lot of weight, you got to lose the first pound first. You know what I mean? And you're going to go through ups and downs. You may put on 3 pounds before you lose a pound, but my mentor taught me 3 rules. Kind of one of the things people who come to me know this by heart. 3 simple rules of doing anything: pay attention, get excited, never quit. Never, as in ever. So just keep doing keep doing it.
Say that again. Pay attention. I heard never quit. What was it?
Pay attention, get excited, and never quit. I mean, I swear to you, I've taught that to youth groups. I've taught it to my kids. Whatever you want to do. You want to play guitar, you want to speak another language, pay attention, find a real coach who can teach you, be enthusiastic about it, be excited about it, and just don't quit until you become successful. You know, we all use these analogies. It's not a sprint, but everyone thinks it's a sprint. It's a marathon. And if you finish that marathon, if you're the last person across the line to be a millionaire in your company, you won't care how long it's taken. Once you cross that finish line, all of that other stuff will be a blur, and you're just going to enjoy the fact that you finished, that you had the guts to stay the course and make it happen.
Yeah, your first thing that you said is the exact reason why I do all these interviews, and that's, you said stories, and I've pointed this out a couple times, maybe 2 times out of the last maybe 15 interviews I've done, but I want everyone to notice something. Every single one of the best trainers, doesn't matter if they're building or not, I just mean trainers, like they're on here and they're interviewing speakers, communicators, they share stories. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. The power of selling stories, of sharing stories. I know we hear facts tell, stories sell. And sometimes we hear these cliches so much that we don't even dig deep to realize, what do they mean? They're simple ways to communicate very important, timeless truths. And so right away when you said stories, I'm always sharing stories, and I'm getting others on to share stories, because you never know who's going to resonate with different styles, different personalities, different ages, different genders, different backgrounds, different countries,
100%.
Everything as you go, right? And then the other thing I was thinking about is you talked about coach, act, pay attention, get excited, never quit. I was thinking about something where you said, you know, you got to lose that first pound. I'm a big believer in win streaks. You start getting a win streak going, right? Your minimum.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, show me your minimums, I'll show you your future. You get a win streak going of 7 days in a row, you've eaten well. The odds of you eating well the 8th day are astronomical. And so those small wins, like you're saying, are huge. I love that insight.
I agree, but isn't it weird how minimums become maximums? So, for example, I'm going to a wedding on the whatever date, and I want to lose X amount of pounds by that wedding. So I eat hamster food and exercise like an Olympic athlete, and I get to that weight, and then the wedding's over, and I go right back to where I was, eating like terrible. It's like, hello, like when you're on a streak, momentum's hard, right? Like, Getting in a zone, think of an athlete, getting in that zone like Michael Jordan was in that famous finals game. It's not easy to get in the zone. How on earth do people get in a zone, get on a streak, and then stop willingly? It's craziness to me. It's like that was one of the things when I personally coach people, which is few and far between. That's probably, I would say, the biggest reason why I've been able to help 100 people make over $1 million, because most people who get to a certain place where they've got momentum, human nature kicks in and they back off. Because think about it. I'm used to making $4,000 a month. Now I'm making $30,000 a month. Human nature is like, I can chill now, especially because a lot of people in our industry are like, I just want to get to the top rank and have residual income. That wasn't Kobe Bryant's attitude. That wasn't Michael Jordan. That wasn't Michael Phelps' attitude. It's like, man, once you figure out how to do it, you got to go harder, man. Because isn't it crazy? Like there are some people have the same skill level. One makes $100,000 a year. One makes $3 million a year. Because when they got momentum, they didn't back off. Wow, is that a big thing?
Yeah, isn't Jim Collins talked about how good is the enemy to great, and there really isn't much of a difference.
100%.
Not much of a difference, and you got to become competitive in a way. It's not necessarily competitive in a negative external way of I have to beat everyone else. In your own way, which was hard for me because I know you're a competitive athlete. I'm a competitive athlete growing up, but I was playing tennis. So for me, it was always me against you. And my whole goal was beating you defined how well I played. And so I had to have a reassociation of competition. I still do sometimes. My wife and I have like the incredible relationship. Our biggest fights are always when we do anything competitive. She's equally fearlessly competitive, which I just absolutely love. It's fun, the feistiness. But I think having that, because we know the definition of happiness is progress. When you're progressing, you're happy. When you're not, you're not. I mean, that's why some billionaires go in depression, right? It's happened because they just stop building, right? Building is energy, maintaining is fatigue. And so it's just such an important principle for all of us as we're going is figure out what that progress is. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have moments. Progress can be sometimes you're taking time like I do Saturday and Sunday with my family, right? You figuring out those times, but wherever you are, be there, as Jim Elliott says, right? Be all in.
100%. No, I love it. I love Jim. That book actually says, as you know, good is the enemy of great. It really is so true. Like I think it was Mike Krzyzewski, the coach at Duke, who had coached the Olympic team the last couple times. And after LeBron won his first championship, they're like, is he as great as Michael? And he said, we'll see, because this to me was really intriguing, especially when I compare it to our industry. 99% of all the people who become world champions, which is, come on, man, world champion, Olympic champion, an NBA champion, whatever, you become a world champion. Those people have something average people don't have, which is a burning desire to be the best in the world. But Krzyzewski said 99% of those people, once they win, it extinguishes that fire that's there, finally at ease and relaxed. Where with Michael Jordan, he's an example, that didn't put his fire out. It made it bigger. It was like throwing gas on the fire he had. So that's what's crazy about our business. I mean, people can make a literal fortune if they'll throw gas on the fire once they get to that point, instead of letting themselves become complacent or satisfied with what they have. So
no, I love it. It's so many great takeaways already so far, and I always encourage everyone who listens to not just take notes wherever you're taking them, however you're taking them, but make sure you create. Those of you, I know several on here have been to Jamie, Dina, to my masterminds, that I always say create your executables. There's lots of stuff that's cute and good, but what are you going to take and actually implement? What are you going to take and actually execute? What are you going to take and actually make happen? And then you take that and prioritize and reprioritize, because as you know, Mark, you know better than me because you've been around longer than me. Too many network marketers, it's like they become the masters of learning with zero application. If you know everything and do nothing, you know nothing, right?
Yeah, well, what did they say in the movie The Matrix, man? There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. To me, the worst thing possible is to know this stuff and not use it, right? Thoughts determine what you want, actions determine what you get. So it's like, it's all about, that's where I argue, when people say knowledge is power, that scares me, because how many people get the knowledge like you're saying and they go, okay, I know this now, but they don't understand. Knowing it means literally nothing if you don't take action on it. I mean, it's got to be turned into action or there's never going to be transformation. I mean, I love doing events. It literally is my life's work. But the fact that people come to the event, get excited, and don't take different action afterwards is like the most depressing thing in the world to me. You've got to take action, man.
Yeah, 100%. We can't go study how to be incredible at basketball for 1,000 hours and never shoot a basketball.
Right, exactly.
And it sounds silly and dumb, but you're like, yeah, that's what a lot of you are doing. That's just some tough love. We're just trying to help you. We've all done it. We've all been there. Just the more successful you are, the less you are in management mode, the more you are in the highest income producing activity.
Oh,
I want to make sure I don't miss anything on, because I know where you're going and I know you're good. I mean, you were awesome. You're just like, wherever you want to go, we can go. And I love that because you're such a veteran. But I have squirrel moments. The people that watch me know I have ADHD, which stands for dude has dreams. So it's squirrel here, squirrel there.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Right?
That movie, right? Yeah.
All around. But I want to make sure that I come back and I didn't miss anything that you wanted to cover as far as dealing with rejections and objections and gaining confidence in it. Because I know we got started and then we just went to a lot of, you just spit around fire. So I just want to make sure.
No, I'm undisciplined too, buddy. I'm having fun just feeding off your questions. So the one other thing I would say is, okay, so either A, you've got the natural personality to just become a fighter. And if not, the whole thing, how would I act if? That was part of my success. I just looked at what my mentor's personality was compared to mine, so maybe you can become more of a fighter, even if that's not your natural personality. Nothing, what they say, there's no revenge like massive success. So instead of focusing on your mind all the time about, go back to my friend Stavros, how his friend made fun of him and everyone laughed at him. Focus on how much fun it's going to be when you get your $3 million home with your 4 Lamborghinis and your friend comes over. It's like whatever you focus on expands. So that's one thing. But when it comes to like actionable things, this is what I found the best way that I can think of getting over rejection. Stop focusing on your results and focus on the activities. Meaning go out and do 5 presentations a day or whatever, 1 presentation a day. Don't focus on how many sales, how much money you're making, what rank you're hitting. Just 1 a day every day, 1 a day every day, 1 a day. Years ago, I had a number of very good friends in the military who turned me on to the whole idea of doing 22 push-ups every day because sadly 22 U.S. veterans take their own lives because of PTSD and things like that. So to raise awareness, I was like, yes, I'll do 22 push-ups every day. So anyway, long story short, what I learned there was not all push-ups are perfect, right? Some are better than others. So I've had a trainer for years. He used to always scream at me because I wasn't going deep enough with my push-ups. So here's my thing. If anyone does 22 push-ups a day every day for the next 20 years, your chest is going to be pretty well developed. And not all the push-ups will be the same. Well, if you do 22 presentations every week for the next 20 years, you're going to have a big download. Period. It doesn't matter. Some of them are going to suck. And if you had a professional trainer, they're grading that presentation, maybe it would discourage you, but there's no one there to grade you. Your job, and this is one of the things I learned from my friend Wayne, your job is to be the first one to show your product, service, or opportunity to whoever it is. Don't worry if they say yes or no. Your job is to just be the first one to show it to them. And once you do that, you've been successful. You know, one of the things I love about Tony Robbins when he talks about what are your rules for success. So some people's rules for success are, I have to make a sale on this presentation or it's unsuccessful. But what if your rule for success became, I just need to do a presentation to someone who's never seen the company before? Now, all of a sudden, you allow yourself to become successful. You asked, how do you build confidence? You have to have you can't fake confidence. Either you're making the basket and you feel confident, or you're missing the shot and you don't feel confident. So change your rules about success. You don't have to make a sale on every presentation to be successful. And if you just start adding up the presentations and you let the numbers be your friend, to me, that's the best way to ultimately the stream and the rock, the stream is always going to win no matter what. So you just got to pay attention, get excited, never quit, and keep doing the numbers. If you do enough numbers, eventually you'll have confidence, and eventually your haters will disappear because you'll be too successful.
Change your rules for success. That just really stood out with what you said, because that's so true on how we define it and how we're our own worst critics. I mean, imagine this. I was thinking about this as you were saying this. I've never said this or this way. If we could tell you right now, Mark and I sit down and say, you know what, you make 922 invites, and after that, you're going to have a ton of success and you're going to make X amount. And we could fill in that blank. All of a sudden, that fear of unknown would be gone. And things change. That's why people are okay with, again, not ripping on any jobs at all. That's why people are okay to become doctors and spend 12 plus years, tons of debt, because they feel like they know on average what they're probably going to make. And so they can handle all of everything they go through. Well,
that's a great point.
I'm not making guarantees, neither is Mark. We're just giving you different stories, different analogies of shifting that mindset and perspective to help you have success. Now, what I'm excited about is this. Mark's been the guy that everyone's always trying to find content from, YouTube videos, different stuff, because he hasn't focused as much on the online world, because he's the guy that's, spoken in front of her more than anybody that I know of in all of network marketing. Yes, all of network marketing. And so now, with what's going on with the chaos in the world, he's actually going to be doing a ton of online stuff. So I just got really excited about that. So tell us, we alluded to it at the very beginning, and I want to make sure now we hit home. And so give us all the good stuff of how this came about. What is it? What can they learn and discover in it, and where they can find it again?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I am the director of training for a company. I won't mention the name, but I've been there 15 years, and that's where I do all my live events. Very, very loyal there. But as you said, during this pandemic, I mean, I've had my girlfriend, who I'm very in love with, lives in South Africa, because God has a sense of humor. Her country won't even allow Americans to go in there. No one can get in. So, I mean, I would spend a lot of the last 5 months with her. So I just made a decision in my mind. Every hour I can't spend with her, because I can't, I'm just going to work on this new project. So we have gone through the last 20 plus years of live events, and we put together a program on public speaking, which I, feel I'm very qualified to teach. And then just an audio program on how to do the business. One of the things that I'm pretty well known for are doing the characters. We do a gambler character where we just act out playing cards, and the metaphor of finding an ace, which is, a leader. That has been, I found out, I had no idea that had millions of views, not on my page. A lot of networkers throughout the world take it, translate it.
It's one of the most used plagiarized trainings, right? That's the ultimate form.
Yeah.
A compliment, but
it doesn't bother me. So for the first time ever, that's available on my website. And it's exciting. So first, forget it all. If someone wants to buy something, great. I have a free gift I'm super excited about. It's a 3 hour audio called How to Make 100,000 in Network Marketing. So that'd really be it. You can go to, worldsuccesscoach.com and just get the free gift. Yeah, I mean, it's how to make undergrad. As I mentioned to you earlier, I've been blessed to have such great students that I had 100 people make over $1 million, but I've had well over 1,000 people make $100,000. So to me, that was always my marker. Like, I want to make $100,000. To me, that was so unattainable. So I did it many times in my own career as a rep. I've taught over 1,000 people to do it. So I feel like this gift, I'm uniquely qualified. So I'd love it for people to just go get that. And if anything else on the site appeals to you, I promise you it's all really good stuff.
Well, I'm excited for people to get that and get to know, we'll call you the ghost, get to know the ghost better, right? The man, the legend, the ghost. And for me, it's just such an honor. And I'm excited. We've already been chatting a ton on WhatsApp, and I know we already had a previous conversation, and to see what happens and to collaborate a ton more with you, Marc. So I know everyone else is saying thank you. They're giving you the golf clap, or maybe a loud round of applause, right? Where they're watching from. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be able to provide so much value and insight with my audience.
Well, you know what? First of all, congratulations to you, brother. What you've been doing is so impressive. And I really would love to become good friends and get to know each other much better. I got some great stuff that I quickly took notes on while I was here tonight. And I mean, you know, I just really love this industry, Rob. I just do. I believe for me, I was such a dork. I had such low self-esteem. I was so broke in the real world. And if I can live the lifestyle I have by going to seminars and finding a mentor, it's my calling to get to as many people as possible. So I'm excited. Thank you for letting me speak to your audience. That was very kind of you. And I look forward to doing lots of fun stuff as the years unfold.
Well, you're the man. Thank you so much. We all appreciate you. Until the next time.